Hello, so nice to meet you at this daily motivational meeting, reading quotes from world scriptures. We're reading the book from the beginning. Please find all chapters on our video channel, Message to Billions. Now we are reading chapters about how to avoid mistakes, great mistakes that could deteriorate your life. And there are very good tools to empower you with positive vibe for today. Okay, today's chapter is Degraded and Fallen Nature. Human nature is analogous to water. Originally, it is pure. If you fill a clear vessel, then the water will be clear. But if you fill a dirty vessel, then the water will be solid. Its original purity, it is always there, but once it became dirty or turbid, it is very difficult to regain its purity. God made man upright, but they have thought out many devices. Delusion, it is a sort of demonic force. People's original mind is pure, but it became perverted due to the illusion and others' karmas. I inquired that what impurity was and found it to be not a substance, but the perversion of the will, turned aside from thee, O God, the Supreme, toward this lower thing, and casting out its bowels and puffed up outwardly. Satan said, I will take of thy servants a portion, mark it off. I will mislead them, and I will create in them false desires. I will order them to deface the fair nature created by God. Whoever forsakes God takes Satan for a friend, has of a surely suffered a loss that is manifest. Satan makes them promises and create in them false desires. But Satan's promises are nothing but deception. You might having becoming deceived and bewildered because of the false sense conception accumulated since beginningless time, has developed many desires, attachments, and habits. From this, there have arisen incident to the even-changing process of life, arbitrary concepts concerning self and no self, and as to what is true and what is not true. These arbitrary conceptions have not developed in a normal way from your pure mind essence, but in an abnormal way because of the prior false conceptions that had their origin in the sense organs, like the sight of blossom in the air that came to the diseased minds. They falsely appear to have had their origin in the enlightened and essential mind, but in truth they have arisen because of disease condition. Slight is the difference between man and the brutes, and the common man loses his distinguishing features, while the gentleman retained it. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately corrupt. Who can understand it? And recite to them the deed of he to whom we have our sight. But he cast them off, and Satan followed after him, and he became one of the perverts. And had we willed, we would have raised him up, but the inclines toward the earth and followed his lust. So the likeness of him, it is the likeness of a dog. If you attack it, it lost its tongue out, or if you leave it, it will tool its tongue out. That is that the people likeness who cried lies to our signs. They have hearts but understand not with them. They have eyes but receive not with them. They have ears but they hear not with them. They are like cattle, nay, rather they are farther astray. Those they are the heedless. Another quote, then man in whom there never kindness, one spark of the love of God, no Nanak, that the earthly vested, it is better than that of a swine or dog. Most men and men of the most vulgar type seem not without some ground to identify the good of happiness with pleasure, which is the reason why they love the life of enjoyment. For there are, we may say, three prominent types of life that just mentioned: the political and thirdly the contemplative life. Now the mass of mankind are evidently quite slavish in their taste, preferring a life suitable to beasts. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord has spoken. Sons I have reared and brought up, but they have rebelled against me. The ox knows its owner, and the ass its master crib. But Israel doesn't know, my people doesn't not understand. Yes, so interesting. Let's go further reading another inspirational quote from the second coming Messiah, Sun Moon. When God's one son and daughter, who should have been the true ancestor of humankind, committed sin, they were expelled from his kingdom. From that moment, all men and women lost their potential to become God's temple. Instead, they became dens of Satan, headquarters of selfishness. Human beings were degraded by the fall to a status lower than the things of creation. As it is written, the heart is deceitful above all things. Have you heard that when an ocean-going ship is about to be wrecked, the rats on board the ship try to escape along the mooring rope to the land, seeking safety? Even loving creatures are aware of their destiny in terms of life and death. But what about human beings, who are the masters of all creation? Having fallen, they became as dull as baby squid. Our mind and body can become completely one through the power of God's love. But we have never really experienced that honest because of the division between them and that resulted from the fall of the human ancestors. If not for the fall, our mind and body would have completely united based on the God intrinsic love. In the world of love centered around that intrinsic love, there would be no need for moral education. God would suffice as a teacher. People would know love without being taught. When the mind and body became one, we understand everything. There would be no need for education about how human beings should live. There would be no need for instruction in ethics and the ruler of morality. Do the animals need to be taught moral lessons? They know how to protect themselves and group themselves among members of other own species. Why are human beings, the Lord of creation, so ignorant in this regard? It is because of the fall that we fight and struggle. We have fallen nature. What are the four aspects of fallen nature? They are arrogance, jealousy, anger, and lying. We should remove all of them. Eve inherited from Archangel all the proclivities incidental to his transgression against God. When he bound her in blood ties through their sexual relationship, Adam in turn acquired the same inclinations when Eve, assuming the role of the archangel, bound him in blood ties through their sexual relationship. And these proclivities have become the root cause of the fallen inclination in all people. They are the primary characteristic of our fallen nature. The fundamental motivation which engendered this primary characteristic of the fallen nature lay in the envy the archangel felt toward Adam, the beloved of God. How can there be anything such as envy and jealousy in an archangel whom God created for good purpose? The archangel was endowed with desire and intellect as a part of his original nature. Because the archangel possessed an intellect, he could compare and discern that God's love for human beings was greater than the love of God gave to him. Because he also possessed desires, he had a natural yearning for God to love him more. This desire of the heart was naturally conducive to envy and jealousy. Envy is an inevitable byproduct of the original nature, like the shadow cast by the object in the light. After human beings reach perfection, however, they will never be induced to fall because of incidental envy. They will know deep inside that the temptation gratification they might feel by attaining the object of their desire is not worth the agony of a self-destruction that would ensure. Hence, they would never commit such crimes. The primary characteristic of the fallen nature can be divided broadly into four types. The first is failing to take God's standpoint. A principal cause of the archangel fall was his failure to love Adam with the same heart and perspective as God. Instead, he felt jealousy of Adam. This led him to tempt Eve. An example of this characteristic of the fallen nature is when a courtier feels jealous of the king's favorite instead of sincerity respecting him as one whom the king loves. The second is leaving one's proper position. Seeking more of God's love, Lucifer desired to enjoy the same position of love in the human world. This unrighteous desire caused him to leave his position and fall. People are induced by unrighteous desires to step beyond the bounds of what is right and outreach themselves because of this primary characteristic of the fallen nature. The third is reversing dominion. There are angels who were supposed to come under dominion of human beings instead dominated Eve. Then Eve, who was supposed to come under dominion of Adam, dominated him instead. The fourth is multiplying the criminal act. After the fall, have Eve not repeated her sin by seducing Adam, Adam would have remained whole. The restoration of Eve alone would have been relatively easy. However, Eve spread her sin to others by inducing Adam to fall. The proclivity of evil people to entangle others in an expanding web or crimes stems from this primary characteristic of the fallen nature. We now know the characteristics of fallen nature. The fall began first with the self-centered ownership, next speaking lies, next an immoral relationship, next talking all things from God, and finally in the second generation murder. All dictators throughout the history lied, violated love, stole others' possession, and murdered good people. Concerning this, we should not follow the same pattern of historical error. We wish to inherit a heavenly tradition of love by overcoming these transgressions within ourselves. Yes, so interesting quotes for today, and if you have difficulties, please watch one more time this video, and now we understand as we go closer to God, we have less this mistake, and as others is going farther from God, the more attacks from the spirits and Satan could receive and live a worse life. Contact me anytime for consultation, cooperation, and for become a member of our Heavenly Parents Holy Community globally. Just contact the contacts below. Wish you a great blessed day. See you tomorrow with a new powerful vibe. All the best. Bye bye.